It's a quick explanation of how I use iAnnotate PDF on my iPad to track Harkness discussions with this pretty classic tracking device. The blank oval represents the table. I started by emailing the PDF to myself of the blank oval and then opening it up in iAnnotate, which allows you to duplicate it very quickly and make a bunch of blank copies to have ready in a folder, little arsenal ready to go. And there are a few features that make this, I think, a lot more effective and efficient than sitting there with a blank piece of paper and doing it with a ruler, the traditional manual way. And the first is that you can actually type in students' names. There's a little text feature, a little typewriter feature that iAnnotate has, and you simply touch your stylus to a specific spot on the screen and it opens up a box and you can type in a student's name. And I just figured this out, that once you type in the names all around the table, iAnnotate will let you move them anywhere you want. So you don't have to do it every class. You touch your stylus to the student's name and you can move Hannah over to this side of the table or whatever. And if you have all the names just lined up in a column on the side on your blank sheet for the 320 section, for the H format section of 320, then you can just immediately distribute the students to their seats they happen to be in on that day that you're tracking discussion. Really handy. So you don't have to waste any time at the beginning of class filling in names around the table. It also has a straight line ruler feature where you just touch your stylus at a student's name and it lets you just stretch a perfectly ruled straight line to another student, as you see here. And then what I do at the end of that line to show the direction of the comment, I just put a little snell at the end, as you can see on some of these. I'm still trying to improve my proficiency at that. The other great thing it lets you do is the freehand option. Using your stylus, you can write little comments to indicate the quality or the content of a student's comment. And you do that just by writing it next to the student's name, and you can expand the screen to make it easier to write with your stylus and then quickly shrink it back down and get back to your line dragging. I also make sure that I include for all students a key to how to read this document up at the top right-hand part of the document. The different colors of the lines, this is a great aspect of using iAnnotate because you can switch colors pretty fast, and just to give the students a sense of what's happening at the table in a given chunk of time, I use blue lines for the first 15 minutes, green for the next 10, and purple for the last 10, and this is a great way to, I don't know, demarcate the who's doing what when. If you have students who just like to say a quick thing at the beginning of class and don't speak for the rest of the class, well, you can show them that graphically with this very quickly. I also, as I said, I really do like this option of being able to type in little text boxes, and so I have the title of the story we were discussing that day, and also you can fill in very quickly with a text box or freehand. You can fill in, which class it was, which section, and the date, and so you'll have a file full of these guys by the end of the term to show the evolution of discussion in a particular class throughout the term. Of course, iAnnotate also, because you're using it on your iPad, it allows you to expedite the communication process, sharing this document with the students and letting them consider it for, how they're going to proceed for the rest of the term. And you can email it to the entire class right from iAnnotate, or you can email it back to yourself and post it on Blackboard and let them know it's there, which might give you some context if you do a MEDDIC or anytime you have a a discussion of the discussion and how the group is doing, you can just go right to all of these documents on Blackboard and run through them and see the class's progress or lack of progress. Of course, I'm planning to scan a bunch of tracking devices so that I can have them in iAnnotate. There are plenty of others that I think would lend themselves to being annotated with this program, and I plan on getting on those as soon as I can.